2 Kings chapter 16. In the 17th year of Pekah, son of Remaliah, Ahaz, son of Jotham, king of Judah, reigned. Ahaz was a son being 20 years old in his reigning, and 16 years he reigned in Jerusalem. And he did not do the upright thing in the eyes of the Lord his God, as David his forefather. And he went in the way of the kings of Israel. And indeed, he led his son through fire, according to the abominations of the nations, which the Lord removed in front of the sons of Israel. And he sacrificed and burned incense in the high places, and upon the hills, and underneath every tree of the woods. Then Rezin, king of Syria, ascended, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, to Jerusalem for war. And they made assault against Ahaz, and were not able to wage war successfully. In that time, Rezin, king of Syria, returned Elath to Syria, and cast out the Jews from out of Elath. And the Edomites came into Elath, and dwelt there until this day. And Ahaz sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser, king of the Assyrians, saying, I am your bondman and your son. Ascend and deliver me from out of the hand of the king of Syria, and from out of the hand of the king of Israel, of the ones rising up against me. And Ahaz took the silver and the gold he found in the treasuries of the house of the Lord, and of the house of the king, and sent gifts to the king of the Assyrians. And the king of the Assyrians heard him. And the king of the Assyrians ascended up against Damascus, and seized it, and resettled it, and killed Rezin. And King Ahaz went to meet Tiglath-Pileser, king of the Assyrians, in Damascus, and saw the altar in Damascus. And King Ahaz sent to Urijah the priest the likeness of the altar, and the proportions of it, according to all its makings. And Urijah the priest built the altar, according to all as much as King Ahaz sent from out of Damascus. Thus Urijah the priest did, until the coming of the king from out of Damascus. And the king came from out of Damascus, and the king beheld the altar. And the king drew near to the altar, and ascended unto it. And he offered his whole burnt offering and his sacrifice offering, and offered a libation of his libation offering on it. And he poured upon it the blood of his peace offerings upon the altar. And the brass altar which was before the Lord he brought forward in front of the house of the Lord, from between the altar and from between the house of the Lord, and put it by the side of the altar according to the north. And King Ahaz gave charge to Urijah the priest, saying, Upon the great altar offer the whole burnt offering, the early morning offering, and the evening sacrifice offering, and the whole burnt offerings of the king, and his sacrifice offerings, and the whole burnt offering of all the people, and their sacrifice offerings, and their libation offerings. And all the blood of the whole burnt offering, and all the blood of the sacrifice offering, you shall pour out upon it. And the altar of brass will be for me in the morning. And Urijah the priest did according to all as much as Ahaz the king gave charge to him. And King Ahaz cut down the joinery of the bases, and moved the bathing tub from them, and the sea he lowered from the oxen of brass underneath it, and put it upon a stone base. And the foundation of the chair of the Sabbaths he built in the house of the Lord. And the entrance of the king outside he turned in the house of the Lord from in front of the king of the Assyrians. And the rest of the words of Ahaz, as much as he did, behold, are not these written upon the scroll of the words of the days of the kings of Judah? And Ahaz slept with his fathers, and was entombed with his fathers in the city of David, and Hezekiah his son reigned instead of him.